Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Self Development with Tactics podcast. And as you can see or hear, better hear, I hope you can't see, my voice is doing quite great right now again, which makes me really happy because tomorrow I have to go to school actually again after my 2 week of holidays. And then I think I was actually talking about it in the last episode. It's a little bit, it's a little bit a pity if you just come home talking every day long and then you just talk again. And this is actually not the best thing for your voice. But therefore, I'm pumped that I can do it now. And there will maybe be even 2 episodes today because I'm so fucking pumped to do this now. Even though I just was a little bit pissed, but I'll tell you that story. I'll tell you that story afterwards. But just to introduce myself, because I always forget it, my name is Christopher. I'm a 17-year-old. Actually, in 6 days, I'm 18, and I will probably forget to mention this. I'm a 17-year-old graphic design student from Austria, and I'm pretty into self-development. And today we are talking about the success principles by Jack Carnfield, I guess. I think, as I'm looking him into his face right now, I think that he is actually some kind of moderator, or something in a TV show or something, maybe. I will look it up later, I think. But let's come to the actual story I wanted to tell you, and this was really showing me something. Lately, I've been working with a few people on Instagram together to create posts for them or logos or whatever, to give myself some kind of leverage to get a shout out, to grow my Instagram page, and therefore, so if I grow my Instagram page, my YouTube will grow because there I share the most YouTube links. Then my podcast will grow because there is also, this is kind of advert, site or platform for me. So I hit it up a lot of people, and I always talking about dudes. I always tend to be like, I was talking to the dude, even though if I do not know it. But the thing is, I guess all these are most of the time in the trading thing business, something like that, and or really like success and quotes and whatever. So the typical thing, you really might know what I mean. The thing is, I've been hitting up a few guys or people, sorry, and I've been working now with 2 or actually 3 by now. And they always tell like, how much do you charge? And I'm like, a shout out would be great. So if I can help you and you can help me out, then it's some kind of collaboration between us. And then it's just get in front of their audience to see, oh yeah, there's actually this dude called Christopher, and he's also doing some great stuff. I hope they will be like this, um, but make it actually like this. How can I do it? I do it like that. But actually, no, I really do not want it to be shown like. Sorry. I have to adjust this. So, and then, yeah. So I've been doing a little bit logos for them and so on. And the latest dude or girl or whatever and didn't really get was what I'm up to. I basically only meant by just hitting them up by helping them create something, because as you might know, I'm a graphic designer and this is what I do, and I like producing content, I like producing videos, pictures and so on. But the latest person just thought about me creating an entire post for him, which meant like, just knowing what I'm doing there, and he is about trading, or he or she is about trading. So I made some kind of trading post. I do not have any clue about trading, to be honest. So I Googled, I was typing in, he wanted me to do something with candlesticks. And so I typed in, candlestick infographic, and then I just replicated some sort of this one because I do not know what trading is all about. I have friends, or one particular friend who is pretty much, or two actually, and they are pretty much into trading. Um, yeah, but I do not have any clue about this one. So I was just now searching for some infographics. Then it was making this, and then my software just crashed, and I was so fucking pissed because it took me just too long for doing this post. I just had to create all these things, so all the resources myself. I do not actually have the logo. I had to pick the colors myself because, he meant like, do this, and boom. He just said to me, just do something with candlesticks. And then I was like, yeah, okay, I can do this, but it's some kind of weird that people just give you that thing. So at the end, I did it. It crashed one time. I sent him this before I just was recording this. But the thing is, I really didn't like to do this. I didn't really like to inform myself about training because it's not what I'm interested in. But the thing is, it showed me something that's pretty important for me. It showed me something that when I actually do something I really don't like, because I haven't been really thinking about or couldn't have thought about something I really, really do not like. And now I can really be a little bit empathetic with people who just have to do something they do not like. They don't like, and I can really just see it now how fucked up this is. But enough saying. We will start with this book summary. So the book is called The Success Principles and How to Get from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. And let's go through the book in 3 sentences. And we are again on the samuelthomasdavis.com website, if you wonder. So if you want to be successful, you have to take 100% responsibility for everything that you experience in your life. Everything you think, say, and do needs to become intentional and aligned with your highest purpose, your values, and your goals. And which is actually something, so the second point is really something I have been emphasizing with, and I have been, really been talking about on this channel lately. At my point of view, you should definitely know your values and your preferences and these things. Because if you know these things, if you know what your goal is, what your preferences are, what your values are, you just really can dictate your life. You can really be like, I make that choice because that choice contributes my goal or me achieving my goal someday. And so you won't be making any fucked up decisions because you know where you want to go. So there is no way you can't go to or achieve your goal because you have it in mind, you know it, and therefore you should be doing all your decisions and all your decisions and thoughts based on these values and our goals, as he is saying. But this is actually something I've been pretty much thinking about and pretty been emphasizing with. And the third one is, to achieve desired outcomes, you must replace complaining with making requests and taking action. I am actually a person who is just complaining too much, way too much, way too much. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's just my thinking patterns, my behavior patterns, something like that. But I have to change it because it doesn't get you anywhere. This is something you might know by now and something I really know. It doesn't get me anywhere. It just, pisses me then off much more as, just not doing it. It's just, for me, some kind of relieving my aggression. Just complaining, really been, really swearing around and cursing and whatever. This really to get my aggression out and out of my body. Maybe I'll actually need it. So maybe there is no way for me to just cut out complaining. But you have to be sure of that. It doesn't get you anywhere. It leaves you at the same place you are, and just you have to take action. And complaining is not the desired action. But let's go to the 5 big ideas. You have control over only 3 things in your life: the thoughts you think, the images you visualize, and the actions you take, so your behavior. And this is amazing that they pointed out, because these are actually the 3 things you can control. And at my point of view, if you control these 3 things, you control your entire life. Because based on your thoughts and behavior, let's take these 2, based on that you make your decisions, you make, I think actually decisions are enough, because decisions are really the things that determine your life and how your life is and so on. And if you just have that under your control, why wouldn't you reach your goals, or just achieve your values, or something like that. And the second one is stated in its most basic form. The law of attraction says what you think about, talk about, believe strongly about, and feel intensively about, you will bring about. And this is something I have actually been reading about before I was making this YouTube thing, and I actually see that I have to plug my laptop in, because it once happened to me that my laptop turned itself off, and this really fucked me, because I really hated it, and it really hated me for not plugging my fucking laptop in, because the whole recording then I thought was lost, but it actually wasn't, and which then was a pity. But as long as you learn from your failures, everything is good. The thing is, I make failures often. I do them twice, 3 times, and so on. But then sometimes there comes the point where you say, yeah, I've been making this mistake enough now, and now I'll do not do it again. I hope this comes from me as well. So what you just, I only know it with thinking, or yeah, but the rest is just common sense. So everything you're thinking about and everything you're just focusing about or focus on will grow, which means that if you focus on the positive things will grow, which makes total sense. If you just focus on the good things in life, the good things in life will be just bigger or more there than the negative things. If you just focus on the negative things in your life, the negative things will overwhelm the positive ones, which is common sense for me. And I hope you know what I mean, and you get what I mean and what they mean. The third one is you can lose. You can lose the material things, but you can never lose your mastery, which is totally true. And this is actually, I like this book already so much. I like it so much. And this is actually something a German motivational speaker and also millionaire, Bodo Schäfer, it's SCH, is this A with the 2 points over it, FER, yes, is his last name, and he is, I think, a millionaire, a speaker. I don't actually would say a motivational speaker, but yeah, some sort of, yes. But he talks about finances and something like this, and he is saying that you can take everything from a millionaire, but he will then be a millionaire. You can take all his material things, but he will still be a millionaire, because he actually knows how to get a millionaire or how to become a millionaire. And actually, if you just go to, I don't know, let's say Elon Musk, I think is a good example. If you just go to him and take everything of his belongings, just destroy them or whatever you want to do with them, he will probably just do the same with, as he started out with, becoming successful. He will make another PayPal, some sort of, maybe not, like this thing, but I think there were actual reasons why he took this category of businesses or of the market to for himself to just create this product or this service, and he will just do the same. sees or just watches the market, sees where, there is a lack of something, and then he will make this. And that's it. But let's see what you learn and who you become in the process of achieving your goals, which is actually important. And this is also something I've been experienced, or I have experienced, and I really understand that, and I really like, is that, in the process, so if you want to achieve a goal, actually the goal is processing the goal, or just, willing to achieve the goal, or the process of achieving the goal. So, like this. And the actual goal itself is then, yeah, it's there, but, you actually get a really great person in the process, which is, which you will probably see and definitely see. The fourth one is, one of the great strategies for success is to act as if you already are where you want to be. This is something I cannot really emphasize with, because it actually reminds me on something that Gary Vee is just, talking every time about. He is talking about, just have to correct the audio so that it will not be too fucked up, maybe a little bit too, yeah, this should be fine. I just really have to be a little bit more, emotional here. It will make everything a little bit more interesting if I'm not like this and just telling you something like that, but doing like this. But I think faking till you're making it is not the way to go. Just, I don't know. Gary Vee is talking all about it all the time, and I just some kind of understand his point, but I just can also understand why you would just fake it until you make it. Yeah, the thing is, and this is also something that Gary is talking about. You should then not be like, acting like you're actually able to do something, but you should document your process of achieving this skill or this goal or this life. And that makes sense, and he also or all the times explains it with, if there were videos of Jeff Bezos packing books, because actually Amazon was meant to be, some kind of bookstore online. If there was actually footage of him doing this, this would be amazing. This video would have, I don't know, trillions of clicks, because everybody would be interested in it. And that's why I am, this is something I've been thinking about lately, or just in general, pretty a lot. If I'm actually documenting my stuff, and that's why I tended, or just, begun to vlog my days, to show what I'm doing, so that afterwards, if something happens with me, like in a positive way, not in a negative way, that sorry, that these are just important footages, and but yeah, the fifth one is, sorry, the world doesn't pay you for what you know, it pays you for what you do, which is actually so correct and so true, and so something I really have to point out, because a lot of people just tend to read a lot of motivational books, or a lot of business books, or non-fictional books, or whatever. But if you do not use your knowledge you gain through these books or through these websites you're reading all the time, hey, it doesn't get you anywhere. Just, reading, yeah, I understand it, that it is good, because, just reading these things and so on just makes you feel good, because you're feeling like you're doing something great. But, just not doing something with this knowledge is fucked up. Shouldn't do this. And yeah, but it's actually something I struggle with. I I read a lot of books, also with these summaries, but most of the things are, I hope, actually subconsciously, just stored. But most of the time, I just really think that I forget a lot of things, which is not really good. But let's see. I think it's actually a pretty long book, and it will take me a few sessions But yeah, the Success Principles book summary, part 1, the fundamentals of success. The first one is take 100% responsibility of your life, which is actually something I haven't been really pointing out or talking about so it was actually the first phrase the summary or this article gave us, and I haven't been talking about it because I didn't really think there was something behind it, but there's actually something I'm now thinking about it. So long story short, I will tell you. um, if you just are all the time like, yeah, my life is so bad because my boss is such a fucking asshole, and my girlfriend is not really what I want, and you know these person are doing this and this affects me, and the president is him, and I don't like him, and this is why I do not have a job, or something like this. This is total bullshit. You should take everything should be just some sort of your fault. I know actual things. This is actually something Gary Vee makes or does. He thinks that everything, if there is any fault, it is his fault. I can't really emphasize with that because there are actually some things you do not have any responsibility for. Just if a typhoon happens or something, it's not your responsibility. But for the most things in your life, you do have the responsibility, and you have to be clear of that. And by just really understanding that and knowing that and using that knowledge, you really take yourself in a position where you just change it. So if you know that you're responsible for these certain things, you will change them and not really wait for somebody else to change them, if I get what I actually mean. The second one is be clear why you are here, which is, I think, just means be clear of your values, of what you are good at, and so on. I don't know. Well, so just think about it like, what do you really like to do? What do you love to do? What makes you happy doing? And this is then your why you are here. You're here for doing this. Some people are good at sports. All these professional athletes were born to be athletes, hopefully. This is what they really like, and this is why they are here, to be athletes. Decide what you want. This is actually, I think, like, knowing your goals. Yes, just knowing your goals. I believe it's possible. Yeah, if you just be like, I can't really get to my goal and so on and achieve it, the chances are pretty low that you will actually achieve them. Because, if you just do not really believe in yourself and believe in that you can do it, then you might not actually be taking the action you should be taking. Believe in yourself, okay. Use the law of attraction, have been talking about. 7th one is unleash the power of goal setting. I think goal setting is pretty important, but especially measurable goal settings. You can be like, I want to be rich in 5 years, but what is actually being rich? If being rich is for me like maybe, I don't know, having 5 trillion in my bank account, and for somebody else it would be like, having 1 million in their bank account. And by, really doing it as a measurable thing, like I want to have $1 million in my bank account by the end of, I don't know, 2025 or something. Then you really know that up to this date, you really have to get this money somehow, and you can really better plan how to get it, because you can then be like, in 5 years, 1 million, this would be, what would this be? Some kind of 200,000 a year for the next 5 years. And then you just can really calculate it much better, at my point of view, at least. Chunk it down. This is actually what I just did. Success leaves cues. Don't know. 10th one is release the brakes, is actually taking action. And I think, and I actually have been some kind of talking about this right before, you have to take action. You know, a lot of people just, overthink everything. Just, this is actually something really funny. Just if you tell some people like, why don't you start vlogging, and then they be like, I do not have a camera, I need a camera at first, and so on. A lot of people just make it very, very complicated all the time. Most of the things are pretty easy. If you want to start a business, just try to build up the social media channels for this right now. If you just get your sponsors, get your investors, see if this idea is actually working, or just make a plan, or just get informations. There are a lot of things you can do right now. Don't really want to say that you can do everything right now, but there's a lot of things you can do right now. The 11th one, see what you want, get what you see. Actually, knowing what you want is especially, or actually pretty important to know. It's values and goals, what I was talking about before, and get what you see, I don't really get that. The 12th one is act as if. I'm not really been emphasizing with that. Act as if, I really can't emphasize with that. Take action, pretty important. Just lean into it. This is actually what I mean, or what I meant by do not overthink stuff. Just lean into it. Experience your fear and take action anyway. Also pretty important stuff. I have been willing to make my own some kind of social media advertising business thing, and then I went into some people's stores, and actually it was one coffee, it was two coffees, so coffee shops, some sort of, I think. And it was pretty hard for me to just go into it, and then ask for the owner. Then the owner comes up, then to ask himself. I got two. I failed 2 times. The second one was a little bit like, all these old man shop owners like, no, the social media thing. I do not want this stuff. And but actually, I'm thinking if they are just really not into growing the business, if they I don't blame them. It's okay if they have a business and they can live from that pretty good, or just like they want, why shouldn't they grow it if everything is okay? But if they want to grow it, why don't they consider doing something else? You can't expect something different if you just do the same thing over and over again. And it doesn't make any sense. But let's see. 16th one, be willing to pay the price. Also important, everything is important here, but willing to pay the price, which means that you should be aware of that there should actually be, and there will be sacrifices. If it's time, if it's maybe friendships, if it's money, if it's, I don't know, there's a lot of things that can be sacrificed, but most of the time it is time. But be willing to pay. Ask for help. Ask others who have done this. Ask, I don't know, someone. Rejection. If we get rejected, just be like, you can learn something from it. Maybe the next time you will approach this task somehow different. Just, for me, not going into the shop, asking for the shop owner, and then just really being like, can I help you? Can I do this for you? Maybe I'll be like, do you need some help? And then if he says no, just go. And there are a lot of things, or a lot of ways how you can ask someone something. But yeah, use feedback to your advantage. I've said that. Commit to constant and never-ending improvement. This is actually something really important. I think just learning something all the time, if it's just really actively learning, and or passively learning. And what I mean by this is actively learning would for me be like, reading a book, reading something, listening to something, watching somebody do something like, in a course or something, and so on. And or passively learning, like learning by doing. And I think you should really be doing this all the time. It's good for your mind, at my point of view, and it's just good for yourself in terms of your finances and your skills. You really get to improve your skills. And yeah, keep score for success. Okay, practice persistence. It's actually pretty important. Everyone who is just working out knows how persistence and constant working out is so important, because without constantly doing something or being persistent at doing your workouts, you won't build muscle, you won't just be better at your task. Practice the rule of 5, which I don't know, but I hope they will actually be talking about this some kind of later. Exceed expectations. This is actually something I remind myself quite often. I just, I always think like, should I now have really high expectations? Should I have low expectations? Should I have no expectations? Most of the time I think just no expectations is the best thing, because if you do not have any expectations, you won't be just really sad about the results, but you will not be that happy, or you will, I don't know, you always will be happy if there are good results, but I don't know, I can't say. um, but yeah, that's actually it for this episode. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up or something, just something you would like. If there are any questions, comment down in the description. Yeah, comment down in the description. You should always comment in the description. Comment down below, and or DM me on every single platform you would like me to DM, or comment on all my posts I have. All the social media links should be down in the description. If you're on the podcast, I don't know, it depends on the platform you are on now, but there should actually be somewhere a podcast description with all the links. And if you're on YouTube, down there should be everything. But for now, I really have to thank you for being with me. I hope you get something out of it. It was, at my point of view, quite a great episode. I hope I wasn't, talking too monotonely, like, like this. And so, I really have to remind myself on. But I'll see you the next time. Bye, and I love you.